What would you do if your mother demanded your firstborn child? In my family, mothers required their daughters to surrender their firstborn child permanently on the baby's first birthday. My mother, Ellen, was a respected pediatric surgeon who'd raised me with surgical precision, private schools, perfect grades, and only suitable boyfriends. But I noticed things: how she'd stroke my stomach during hugs, even when I wasn't pregnant; how she decorated a nursery in her house before I was even engaged; how my cousin Emma hadn't smiled since her daughter was relocated to Aunt Patricia's house. At family gatherings, I watched the older women parade their acquired children while the biological mother served drinks in silence. Ellen would point to each child. That's Patricia's grandson, technically. Margaret's granddaughter. Soon, mine. At my wedding reception, Ellen cornered me in the bathroom. Remember, darling, your firstborn comes to me on their first birthday. I've already hired the nanny and enrolled them in Pemberton preschool. She handed me a contract. An actual contract. Just a formality. All the women signed. I laughed nervously. Mom, that's insane. Her face went cold. Your grandmother gave me you. I gave her your brother before he passed. This is how we love. My pregnancy was hell. Ellen attended every appointment, calling the baby hers. She'd already painted the nursery pink after the gender scan. At my baby shower, she gave a speech about finally getting to raise another daughter properly, without the mistakes I made with Sarah. My husband found me sobbing over the contract one night. Page 3 outlined visitation rights about how I'd get supervised visits twice monthly. Ellen had already filled in my daughter's name, Ellen Jr. The breaking point was finding Ellen in my apartment at 3 a.m., standing over my newborn's crib, whispering, "Just a few more months, my angel." I installed cameras everywhere and started recording her calls. When she showed up with a moving truck 18 hours after delivery, I met her with hospital security and a restraining order. "You can't do this!" she shrieked. "I made you! You owe me!" The entire maternity ward heard her screaming about tradition, about sacrifice, about how I was stealing her baby. Ellen went nuclear. She sued for grandparents' rights, claiming postpartum psychosis. She had documentation, years of emails expressing concern about my mental state. She had actually been planning this since before my wedding, just in case. She turned my entire family against me. Aunts who'd surrendered their own children testified I was breaking tradition. She hired investigators who photographed me crying at a park, exhausted from newborn life, as evidence of instability. She even got my husband's mother on her side, promising her equal access. The judge initially seemed sympathetic to a grandmother, just wanting to help. Ellen sobbed perfectly on cue. The grieving grandmother denied her rightful role, but Ellen got cocky. She'd already enrolled Ellen Jr. in activities, using my daughter's SSN she'd stolen from my files. She told her church she was adopting due to my incompetence. She'd even filed preliminary custody papers before I'd given birth, but everything unraveled when Ellen's lawyer accidentally submitted the wrong evidence folder containing her acquisition contracts for other family children dating back decades. Cousin Emma, who'd attempted unaliving herself after losing her daughter, testified. Then 2 more cousins came forward. The judge's face turned white reading Ellen's breeding schedule she'd made for me in high school. Newspaper headlines screamed about the baby stealing ring. Ellen was arrested for fraud and conspiracy. I won, but I lost everything else. My family calls me the tradition breaker, but some traditions deserve to die.